Start your day with Dr. A. Start your day. You're gonna start it. You're gonna start it. Start your day with Dr. A. Start your day. You're gonna start it.
Good morning and welcome to Start Your Day with Dr. A 5-minute inspirational to get your day off to an amazing start. And this morning we're going to talk about healed and made whole. That whole phrase is important. Healed and made whole. I'm going to read you a quote by J.H. Augie. He says this: Christ is the good physician. There is no disease he cannot heal, no sin he cannot remove, no trouble he cannot help. He is the balm of Gilead, the great physician who has never yet failed, and listen to this, never yet failed to heal all the spiritual maladies of every soul that has come unto him in faith and prayer. 1 Peter 2:24 says this: He, meaning Jesus, personally carried our sins in his body on the cross so that we could be dead to sin and live for what is right. By his wounds, you are healed. And I want to keep you in mind, this is much larger than our physical bodies. Healing has to do with every area of our soul and insides that need to be made right and then made whole. I want to start with the story. Jesus carried our sins. You know, my wife and I took what is known as the Exodus tour. And that's where you go to Egypt and they take you along the route that the people of Israel took in the Bible days when they made their exodus from Egypt to the Promised Land. Now, part of that tour, it was optional, was to take a climb or a trek up Mount Sinai. That's the region where Moses climbed up and received the 10 Commandments. And although, yes, it was optional and even dangerous to climb that mountain due to the slipperiness of the rocks in the evening, because the dew would fall, and then because coming down was more treacherous than going up, actually more dangerous. But still, most of our group decided to make the arduous hike. It was so difficult that we had to sign something before we went up, saying that they're not responsible. Our tour guide told us that due to the steepness and the sheer size of the mountain, it would really be better if we had help for some of that way up. To that end, they provided us camels to use when we were going up that first part of the mountain. Now, riding a camel for the number of hours that we did is the stuff of another discussion. But the tour guide said we would need this camel to carry us up the most difficult part of the mountain, because he said the journey was too difficult for us, even impossible for most of us, without being carried. 1 Peter 2:24 says Jesus carried our sins in his body on the cross for us. We couldn't carry our own sins. We needed someone to help us. We needed help, and Jesus carried our sins away, just like it says in the Old Testament when the scapegoat carried the sins far away from the people. Jesus healed our relationships that we lost in the garden. But not only that, he made us whole. Well, what is made whole? Well, in terms of a legal judgment or an agreement, it's compensation for lost assets. And you know what? Tomorrow we're going to look at some of what are those assets that we lost that Jesus has restored and made whole. He has made us whole, filled in those areas. And tomorrow we're going to look at the 3 relationships because it goes so far beyond. Do you know what he has restored to you? Do you know what Jesus has healed? Do you know what assets have been returned to you? We're going to discuss that more tomorrow. But for today, I want you to start saying that you are healed and made whole. Stop saying that you're broken. Stop saying that you're far away from God. If you've received him, then you are healed and you are made whole. Begin to repeat that to yourself. Remember the power of words. I am healed and made whole. That's your CTA and call to action for today. Well, if you would like more free spiritual coaching and even inspiration, join us at our In Between Facebook group at inbetweenfamily.org. And until that time, I'll see you tomorrow again on Start Your Day with Dr. A.